Hello everyone, my name is Gabby and welcome to my descent into the depths of weeb hell. Because I bought a figure from Fate Grand Order. Last year when COVID lockdowns were going on, I decided to get into the Fate series, as you do. Because I wanted something that would be really good to waste a lot of my time so I wouldn't just die of boredom being locked out at home, and I thought a visual novel with multiple routes in it and an anime gacha game would be able to do that job pretty well. And I'd say that overall it's been a pretty positive experience. Yes, for over a year I've been playing Fate Grand Order, a mobile gacha game, and I don't think I've developed a gambling addiction yet. See, I think it honestly works pretty well for me because Fate Grand Order is very otaku. And a lot of it is really not my taste. There's a lot of big tittied waifus and half naked underage girls, and I don't have a desire to get any of those characters from the gacha system. Plus, my luck generally playing it has been good enough that I've got enough good units and even a few of the metagame top tier units, so there isn't anything that I really need that badly that I'm willing to pay extra money until I get it. So I've been playing for over a year, and I'm proud to say that I only ever spent real money on it once. It was one of those game anniversary promotions where you spend a certain amount of paid currency and you get like a special roll of the gacha and you get like a guaranteed 5-star unit, and I think also this one had a 4-star unit as well. It was only $20. I thought, you know what, I've been playing this game for over a year. I've been enjoying it enough to the point that I'm okay with giving them a bit of money for that. For those of you who want to get into gacha games, don't. I just say don't. They're honestly really predatory, especially if you have an addictive personality and tend to gamble a lot. But I will say maybe the main advantage that Fate Grand Order has over other gacha is that, first of all, there isn't any sort of competitive element to it, so you don't need to worry about being wrecked as a new player by other people who spend a lot more time and money on it. And also, the main story is perfectly playable with the common units that you can get without spending any money. Plus, since the game's been going for quite a while, the main story campaign has quite a lot of content to it, and it's written by people who have actually written for games before, so the story is actually pretty good by anime gacha standards. The main disadvantage of FGO, though, is the chance of getting the highest rarity units is atrocious, and there's no system that just gives it to you guaranteed once you've spent enough money. You may just never get a unit, even if you spend thousands of dollars, and that's what makes it such a terrifying money hole. Anyway, there was a character who I thought was pretty cute in the game, and I saw that they were making a figure of her, and I also may not have been able to get her in the game myself because she was a limited time thing and I wasn't lucky enough to get it, but it's not like I'm buying this figure as a substitute because I don't own the JPEG in the game. I just think that her design is neat. So, this is the figure. The character is Shonagon. She is a character in Fate Grand Order. She's one of the characters you can get, kind of, which is one of the, the super special, limited edition SSR characters, but I just think her design's really cute, and they had a figure of it, so I decided I'm going to buy it, and I'm going to unbox it. So Fate characters are mostly anime versions of real historical or mythological figures. The game generally explains roughly who they are, so from what I can tell from the game and some googling up on the characters, Shonagon was the educated daughter of a court official in 11th century Japan, who was also a companion to the empress of the time. She became famous for writing something called the Pillow Book, which was a collection of thoughts and poems and essays and basically just random things she felt like writing at the time. It kind of sounds like an 11th century Japanese equivalent of a blog, except this one became really famous in Japanese literature history because nobody was really writing stuff like that at the time, and especially not women. Reading all this stuff up kind of makes her sound like an ancient Japanese feminist icon, and that's honestly kind of super neat. Of course, the Fate series, being anime as hell, makes their characters anime as hell. So, in the game, Sei is an upbeat, energetic Gyaru type who's classified as an archer because she just throws random bullshit at people, and one of her attacks is taking a selfie with the enemy. The archer class really is made up of archers. You might look at the design and think it kind of looks vaguely familiar, and that's probably because she's designed by Mika Picasso, who you may now know as the person who designed those red and blue looking protagonists for the new Fire Emblem game that just got announced. She also designed some VTubers as well, so if you think the character kind of looks like a VTuber, that's probably why. Also in the game, Sei is voiced by Fyro's Eye, a biracial Japanese-Egyptian voice actress who's probably become famous recently for being the voice of Jolene in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I think she's going to be in Chainsaw Man as well. She was also in Pretty Cure last year as the lead character, so I know her from that as well. Basically, Sei has a lot of random character quirks to her that makes her pretty neat, honestly, and I like her design. So I bought a figure of her. It was a pretty reasonable price. It wasn't like a really big, expensive one, like a lot of the other Fate figures seem to be. I'm still weeb trash. It's okay. I know this. I don't need to justify it. I just wanted to gush for a bit. Anyway, let's have a look at the figure. This is the front. I think these might be one of these like prize figures, the kinds of ones you get from Crane game machines and stuff. But the prize figures, they also tend to be released, you know, separately, at least internationally. Maybe in Japan you can only get these from the Crane games. I'm honestly not entirely sure. But, you know, I can also tell just by the price. Like, you know, this was like $40 Australian, and, you know, the figures, basically figures that are in Crane games are like something like that or a bit cheaper. You're not really going to get like the $100 figures in Crane games, because that would basically be too expensive and probably too high quality that you wouldn't want to damage it by having them constantly be picked up by claws and stuff like that. So anyway, this is the front. I can't read the thing. I don't really know the specifics of this release. It's Furyu, which is the brand that did it. This SSS figure, I don't know what this means. I think I might have seen some other Fate Granddaughter figures in this line though. But yeah, so that's the front. Side view, back view there. The back is just nothing really. There's another sort of front-on view. I actually, like you can see from the back, I really do like the color scheme they've got. Sei kind of generally has this sort of, yeah, obviously the red and blue color scheme is very, very apparent. But, you know, this sort of Japanese pattern with a bit more sort of orangey as well of the red and blue. It's, in the game, she's got, like, three separate outfits, kind of, and, like, her final outfit kind of looks like a sort of a kimono with sort of this sort of patterny kind of thing on it. So, you know, I like, the box is very cute, very fitting for her. Alright, let's go and open this up and see what it looks like in real life. Scissors at the ready. Alright, oh, okay. Yeah, it's one of these ones. Pull it out. Oh, huh. It's a bit smaller than I thought it was going to be, at least just judging by how big the box is. You kind of see the size of that. It's a lot of empty space, but then again, also given how complicated this thing seems to be, you've got the umbrella as well there. I'm gonna go and open this up and see what else you can do with it. Oh no, it's fine. Everything's fine. It just fell on the floor, but that is why it's covered in plastic. It's okay, and there's another layer of plastic, and the parasol, and the stand. Let me grab the stand thing. So, oh no, she just slips out. Just like that. Ooh, oh, I know why the stand's like that now. Wow. That actually looks better than I thought it was going to. Hang on, let me just show you. Obviously, I don't have the fanciest webcam. I can't show you this like fully in detail HD, 1080p, 240p, whatever. But, you know, given that this is, you know, not the most expensive figure, it's not the, like, ones that literally are, like, $200, $300, ridiculous prices, and her design is so complicated and so busy, I was a bit worried, you know, I thought maybe this design, you know, like, I didn't realize it until I saw the box, and when you see the box and you look at it straight on, you're kind of like, oh, maybe they skimmed out on a bit of detail, maybe it's a bit wonky, the face is a bit wonky or something, and, you know, they did that to keep the price down, but honestly, looking at this up close, it really doesn't feel like that at all. Because, yeah, honestly, look at this design. I mean, yes, busy is probably a word you could use for it. You could be a bit demeaning about it. You could talk about the Fire Emblem characters and say it's not that, you know, it's a bit over the top or something. I just think it's cute. Like, yeah, maybe if we're going purely personal preference, I think the hair is a bit, you know, all over the place. Maybe it doesn't need to be 3 colors, But I like the red and blue and the white and the black, and I just like, you know, how this is kind of like a, you know, this sort of almost like school uniformy kind of thing, but it has a sort of classic Japanese elements to it, and this sort of gyaru kind of, you know, sort of Japanese stylish sort of thing to it. It's like, you know, it's such a mix of aesthetics, and it's very clearly intentionally designed. You know, it is a character where they thought about this design and they thought about how to make this cute and combine different elements of personality and ancient history and modern history and waifu factors. And yeah, her design is super detailed. It's like the artist is basically saying, okay, you know, we want to get people to spend real money for an anime JPEG, so we better make that anime JPEG be a JPEG that's worth your money, because you're going to spend all this time sitting around and just staring at all the details of the design. Obviously, you know, you have the little pigtails with all of the different colors in it. If you look at the back as well, it's kind of, you know, the streaks sort of go in through from the fringes, from the tips of the hair. You know, she's got these little bows that are like kind of classical Japanese sort of looking, like those I don't know, those little headband things that you see at like the festivals and stuff, but they're also black and white. You've got this sort of school uniform thing, but it's got this sort of like, you know, rising or setting sun pattern with that. And this little bag, she's got a little trendy bag that's under her jacket. And she's also got a pair of sunglasses. There's a sprite with her with the sunglasses on, which is very cute. I'm really impressed they managed to get these sunglasses on it, because it's such a tiny little detail, you know. And then it's her jacket, which is, you know, very super cute. It's, you know, white, there's some red and blue on it, and like all of these different little things that are, I don't know what you even call them, you know. You've also got, you know, there's a duck, there's a like what looks like a ninja star, a heart, flower, butterfly. I've got no idea what that symbol is. On the back as well, you've got, I also have no idea what these, but they're very Japanese looking symbols on the back. She has little rollerblade things with little sandals that have rollerblades on them, and these little more of these little bow things, little bows on her socks. Yes, she's got a little hair clip. It is a very, very busy design. You could argue it's too busy. I would understand that. I don't know what my aesthetic choices are. I wouldn't say like this is the most amazing design I've ever seen or whatever, but I think it's cute. I am all for cute girls who look cute, and without it being whatever, sexualized, whatever. And that's honestly also a really big ask for a fake character, because a lot of the fake characters, they just get male characters and they just gender bend them and they just pretend that they're female to varying degrees of rationality. There are some characters where it's like, realistically, maybe they might have been a woman in real life. You can't be completely sure, because the history about them is so vague and whatever that they could have been a woman for all we know. But like, this is a character who was actually female. This is a person who did exist, wrote something, and was actually female as well. And that doesn't always happen, so that's really cute. She also has this umbrella thing as well. She has an umbrella, which is, you know, it's kind of like her sort of weapon. I think it goes in her hand here. There doesn't seem to be any instructions, but just like her hand has kind of got a hole there. If I just put it in, stick it in like this. Oh, look at that. God, I don't know if you can see it, but the umbrella, you see there's like a brown area around it? Like it's a handle, like it's the part where she would actually be holding it. I don't know if that's just for the sake of convenience for us or something else, but I think that fits in like that. And so I was thinking about like the weight. Hang on, she has these like rollerblades. How does it work? And the answer is no. It's there's just some clear plastic there to keep it a bit stable. So it's not just like she's just held by the skin of her teeth kind of thing. And I think you just put them in like this. I don't know which direction it goes, but it's like that. Like the stand there. Might need to push it in a bit. Hold on 1 second. So I've got her on the stand, just like that. And, you know, she sits well. You know, I was a bit kind of worried of like, oh, is she not going to fit? But, you know, she seems to sit. I can't really, you can see she's standing on that, you know. So that actually, yeah, that honestly, the only thing I'm worried about here is this umbrella. I don't know how it's supposed to stay in her hand and if it's supposed to be loose or tight. Because this brown part makes it look like she should be gripping onto that area, but I guess she's kind of gripping onto it. It's a little bit loose, and I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to go the other direction. I'm not fully sure. But either way, that's very odd. Like that's it's very cute. It's a very cute design. I'm actually honestly really impressed with the quality of it because yeah, with the design this busy, there are so many ways you could, skimp on it, but like I don't really feel like they missed out on anything at all. Like there isn't really anything where probably in the original there would have been more color and there isn't some here. Like the paint job isn't perfect. There's a bit of overlap of the red into here on the blue. But like, that close up, of course, things might not be perfect. Who really cares? It's not something I care about. Like her little uniform, she's got like red and then a blue and a red stripe, like a belt thing, and I just think it's a cute design. That's kind of all you really need, especially gacha things and especially Fate things. Even if they have cute designs, sometimes they have figures going for them, and they're ridiculous prices. And like, sure, they're probably super detailed and probably super niche, maybe, but like, even just getting a figure of like Saber, like Arturia, like the kind of main waifu female character thing of all of Fate. There's no like normal prize figure size expense wise Saber. There's like the really expensive ones, and there's the like ones with her like on a white dress or a wedding dress or a swimsuit, and they're ridiculous prices because I don't really get it. I don't fully understand the otaku market. I don't really get why, like something like Dragon Ball, the figures are like all really cheap. But then like anything that gets a bit more otaku, the only figures that they make are these super, super detailed ones, super expensive ones that are produced on very niche audiences in very limited amounts. This is like, one of the few Fate things. This and also isn't related to an anime. I've noticed that other cheaper Fate ones are like related to like an anime series might be airing and it's a character in the anime or a movie or something. But, like, this is just a random character from Fate. A random character from the gacha, who has no story relevance whatsoever. She was introduced for, like, a little special event on Valentine's Day, where she kind of had a sort of almost rivalry with Murasaki Shikibu, who was also a really famous Japanese author at the time, who came a bit after her. Her stuff is a lot more traditional and also famous. It seems is almost like her kind of weird predecessor who Murasaki finds a little bit cringy because like she was just writing about her everyday life and not about like history or grand sweeping drama or anything like that. She wasn't writing like fiction or anything. Basically, I'm saying Seiya is not an important character to Fate Granddaughter. So the fact that she got a figure that is small but relatively high quality but also a decent price is what's really surprising me. But honestly, I'm really impressed. As to where I'm going to put it, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Like now I am actually getting to the stage where I am keeping the figures in boxes because I have gotten to that stage, the stage of, well, characters when they look better when they're in the box and all that kind of thing. But honestly, this box is not as, like, she honestly looks better in real life than she does in the box, which is not something you often say. So, say, I'm terrible. I am terrible. This box isn't the most incredible box I've ever seen, especially not like, the really expensive, like the Danganronpa ones, which are my most expensive figures. See that Chiaki one just sitting there on top of my bookshelf, just hanging out? It's not as crazy as one of those, so I don't know if I'm going to keep the box or not. But yeah, I'm promised to try my hardest to not develop a gambling addiction to anime gacha at some point. I mean, I'm not going to get into another one, probably. I mean, actually, no, I did try another one just to see what it was like, but I'm probably going to stop that one now because I finished the story when I didn't finish the story for Fate Granddaughter. I am terrible, but like I said, I needed to make sure that I didn't die of boredom during lockdowns and not being able to go out for indefinite periods of time. Other people probably found other hobbies, maybe hobbies that are slightly more worthwhile, but you know what? It's fine. I got enjoyment out of it. Who really cares? All that matters is that we got through it, huh? Right? Yeah? But I hope all of you have been having good times, good days, good lives, good whatevers. I have ideas for videos of things that I might actually want to do in the near future. Maybe, you know, this might be the start of me trying to get my groove back in terms of making videos. It might not, no promises. It honestly is kind of up to my motivation levels and or whether I see other people on the internet and get really frustrated at them because I think everyone is saying things that are wrong and I need to set the record straight because nobody else is saying this right properly. That's kind of often my motivation for making videos, just kind of thinking that there's nobody out there doing it in the right way. But yeah, either way, whatever. This is just, you know, me checking in, telling you guys all about my stupid weeb things that are like, honestly, they're cringe, but like I'm self-aware enough that it's not as cringe as it could be. You know, it's kind of cringe, but it's not too bad. Like, I think I came out of it a rational human being, which is, I think that's overall a net positive. I think that's a net positive for anybody in the world that we live in currently. Be a rational human being. Develop some self-awareness if you don't have any already. Make sure you actually think about things. Have some critical thinking skills. That sort of stuff. And have fun with your anime figures. Display them. Just don't tell people about the dojins. If other people make dojin, that's not your problem. Just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're all okay at the end, I think. We'll all be okay, and I'll see you next time.